Urgent, Shaq makes a strong statement about Antetokounmpo at the Lakers. Stay until the end to find out everything. But before starting the video, leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any important news about the Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers find themselves once again staring at an early May sunset, their latest playoff exit still smoldering in the minds of an impatient fan base. Inside the organization, executives sift through possibilities, hunting for the kind of seismic roster move that might vault the team back into true contention. Almost instantly, one name begins to echo through front office hallways and late-night talk shows alike: Giannis Antetokounmpo. On the surface it feels like fantasy. The Bucks franchise cornerstone is under contract, Milwaukee shows no appetite for a rebuild, and the Lakers' cupboard of draft picks is as bare as a mid-season free agent market. Yet the rumor refuses to die, fueled by whispers that Los Angeles hopes to unite three generational talents: LeBron James, Giannis, and in the most audacious scenario Luka Doncic, into a new-age super trio. The idea captures imaginations precisely because it seems impossible. It is the ultimate NBA daydream, the kind of what-if that keeps sports talk radio humming. But while social media indulges in photoshopped jerseys and hypothetical starting lineups, one voice cuts through the noise with blunt simplicity: Shaquille O'Neal. A Lakers legend turned analyst, Shaq knows the gravity of wearing purple and gold better than most. He also understands the hidden costs, the microscope of Hollywood, the relentless comparisons to ghosts in the rafters, and a state tax rate that can make even a max contract feel strangely diminished. So when a reporter asks him whether Giannis should engineer a move to Southern California, his reply is as direct as a dunk. Heading to LA means pumping half your salary into taxes, plus carrying double the pressure and triple the stress. It is classic Shaq, unfiltered, pragmatic, tinged with the knowledge of battles fought in the same arena. For him, market size is no longer the currency it once was. Social media is the new metropolis, he insists. Giannis already owns a global name. If I were him, I'd invite the right free agents to Milwaukee and build a fortress there instead of chasing neon lights. His words sparked debate across podcasts and panel shows. Is Los Angeles still the undisputed mecca for brand building, or has the digital era flattened the map? Is the lure of Staples Center, now Crypto.com Arena, worth the weight of Kobe's and Magic's legacies looming overhead? Giannis boasts 2 MVP trophies, a Finals MVP, and a championship earned on small-market soil. What more can a bigger stage truly add, other than ceaseless scrutiny? Meanwhile, practical hurdles stand tall. The Lakers' stash of future picks is shallow, their collection of young trade assets thinner still. If the Greek freak ever signals an exit, rival franchises armed with cap flexibility and draft capital would swarm Milwaukee with richer offers. All of which makes the Lakers' pursuit feel like buying beachfront property with pocket change. Yet dreams are not so easily dismissed in Hollywood. Supporters envision Giannis' downhill fury complementing LeBron's playmaking and easing the burden on an aging superstar. They picture his defensive versatility patching the paint, turning a perennial weakness into an instant strength. They imagine late-game scenarios where opponents must pick their poison between Doncic's wizardry on the perimeter, LeBron's bruising drives, and Giannis' unstoppable spin moves. In a city built on blockbuster scripts, this one practically writes itself. Still, Shaq's caution hovers overhead like a reminder from someone who has lived the storyline. Big markets magnify triumph, but they also amplify every missed free throw, every Wednesday night lull, every quote taken out of context. And while banners in Los Angeles shimmer brighter than most, the chase to hang them can drain even the strongest spirits. So the stage is set, an off-season charged with hope and skepticism, veterans seeking one more run, and a league icon urging restraint from the sidelines. Whether Giannis stays tucked in Wisconsin or tests the bright lights of La La Land, the conversation itself underscores a modern truth. Greatness now travels with its own spotlight, no matter the zip code. The first winds of summer swirl, carrying questions of legacy, loyalty, and leverage. For the Lakers, for Giannis, and for Shaq, whose booming warning echoes across every debate show, the next few months promise intrigue enough for a Hollywood thriller. And this is only the opening scene. Giannis Antetokounmpo has never been one to chase headlines. Raised in the modest confines of Sepolia and forged in the smaller market crucible of Milwaukee, he has always valued substance over spectacle. Yet as the Lakers' rumor mill whirs louder, he cannot escape the gravitational pull of Los Angeles, the arena where celebrities line the baseline and every possession feels like primetime theater. In quieter moments, the Greek superstar scrolls his phone, seeing himself mocked up in gold and purple. Some edits are immaculate, others cartoonish, but all share the same message: you belong on this stage. It is a heady invitation. He remembers Kobe Bryant challenging him to win MVP, then win a championship, and how that prophecy came true far from Hollywood's glare. But would the next boundary, multiple rings, a dynasty, require a bigger canvas? Across the country, Milwaukee watches the swirl of speculation with equal parts pride and anxiety. The Bucks invested everything in Giannis: the draft selection, the developmental infrastructure, the towering arena bearing futuristic neon. Over a decade they evolved together, from 15-win anonymity to parade confetti euphoria. To imagine him in another jersey feels like rewriting the city's identity. Inside Lakerland, decision-makers weigh possibilities. Draft capital is thin, trade assets are few. Still, the allure of pairing Giannis with LeBron James cannot be dismissed. LeBron turns 41 next season. His basketball IQ remains peerless, but his body no longer guarantees 80 games of dominance. Giannis, entering his prime's midpoint, would shoulder the nightly load, giving LeBron bursts of vintage brilliance instead of bearing the full marathon. Yet Shaquille O'Neal's warning echoes in every boardroom: Hollywood inflates expectations faster than talent can meet them. He speaks from lived experience: 3 championships, 1 bitter breakup. He remembers the nightly microanalysis, the column inches comparing him to Kareem, Wilt, and Mekon, legends whose shadows stretch across decades. For Giannis, joining the Lakers would mean instant comparison to icons who built dynasties under banners of Showtime and Shaq Kobe dominance. Financial realities compound the pressure. California's tax rate, layered atop the NBA's escrow and agent fees, slices deep into a max salary. Endorsements in sunny markets can replenish coffers, but Giannis already commands global campaigns from Athens to Abu Dhabi. The digital era makes geography a footnote. Brand equity travels at the speed of a TikTok clip. Giannis's inner circle studies these dynamics carefully. His brothers, Thanasis, Kostas, Alex, serve as sounding boards. Family loyalty prioritizes happiness over hype. Their counsel: legacy is built on joy, not geography. Agent Alex Saratzis compiles spreadsheets outlining scenarios: Milwaukee's supermax stability, LA's glamour and exposure, dark horse franchises with cap flexibility and rising cores. Each column carries intangible costs that no contract can quantify. Meanwhile, LeBron keeps silent publicly but has never shied from recruiting behind closed doors. He sees in Giannis a bridge to extend his own twilight chase for rings. Luka Doncic, too, remains a remote possibility, though his Dallas allegiance and supermax eligibility make him the longest of long shots. Still, the very rumor inflames imaginations, a triumvirate of transcendent talents rewriting offensive possibility. Back in Wisconsin, Giannis enters the summer training block with trademark intensity: pre-dawn workouts, film study, family dinners. Reporters swarm for hints of discontent. He offers none. But one can sense the gears turning, a chess grandmaster evaluating multiple endgames before committing to a single move. Shaq's voice, though, lingers in the atmosphere like bass in a crowded club. More taxes. More cameras. More ghosts. Giannis respects the legend. He grew up idolizing highlight reels of Shaq shattering backboards. Yet he also understands that each era rewrites the rules. Social reach now rivals city lights. Pressure is portable, carried in every push notification. And trophies, wherever hoisted, weigh exactly the same. As July approaches, the NBA waits. Front office insiders place bets. Fan forums refresh timelines. Talk show hosts rehearse hot takes. Will Giannis choose constancy in Milwaukee's green, or gamble on LA's perpetual limelight? Or will he chart an entirely new frontier? The answer, for now, resides only in his private reflection, somewhere between the memory of humble beginnings and the magnetism of immortal aspirations. And while Shaq's caution offers a sturdy compass, Giannis must ultimately navigate the labyrinth himself, deciding whether the glitter of the golden armor is worth the heft of its historic weight. Within NBA lore, there are certain jerseys that carry more than colors, they carry consequences. Wearing purple and gold is not just a wardrobe change, it's a transformation. When players don the Los Angeles Lakers uniform, they don't merely join a team, they enter a legacy, a living institution defined by names carved into both championship banners and basketball memory. Magic, Kareem, Kobe, LeBron. For Giannis Antetokounmpo, the possibility of joining that lineage is intoxicating, yet intimidating. It's the difference between starring in a great movie and being cast into a cinematic universe where each role is forever measured against legends. Every rebound, every playoff loss, every press conference glare, it all gets magnified. This, perhaps, is what Shaquille O'Neal meant when he warned of the extra pressure. Shaq wasn't speaking in hypotheticals, he lived it. During his time with the Lakers, he racked up 3 consecutive titles but also battled media narratives, internal tension, and endless comparisons. In LA, a win is just expected, he once said. A loss? That's a headline for a week. Shaq's advice to Giannis wasn't meant as discouragement, it was reality served cold. Los Angeles is the world stage, but not everyone is built for the spotlight. The burden of greatness, when draped in a Lakers jersey, is heavier than elsewhere. And for a player like Giannis, who values authenticity, team chemistry, and emotional loyalty, that weight could come at a cost. Meanwhile, within the Lakers' orbit, anticipation brews. LeBron James, entering the twilight of his legendary career, knows that his window to chase another championship is narrowing. While he has often played the mentor role, grooming younger teammates or nurturing chemistry, he's also keenly aware that only certain co-stars can truly elevate a title run. Giannis is one of them. A two-way monster who dominates both ends of the court, he brings the kind of energy that could anchor a defense and electrify a crowd. The prospect of a LeBron-Giannis pairing has fans fantasizing about synergy, the gravity of LeBron's playmaking creating open lanes for Giannis, the Greek Freak's rim protection masking the defensive lapses of aging veterans, a new version of the Shaq-Kobe formula, but with more pace, more length, and a modern twist. And yet, the echoes of greatness are not always welcoming. They demand constant validation. Every missed free throw becomes a referendum. Every playoff stumble is framed not as a bump, but a betrayal of legacy. The Lakers are not patient. They are not subtle. They do not rebuild, they reload. But when the reload fails, blame falls with brutal speed. Giannis, though humble in demeanor, is no stranger to criticism. He's been labeled too raw, too limited, and even unfit for the modern game in his early years. He silenced them all, winning 2 MVPs, a Defensive Player of the Year, and delivering a finals performance for the ages. But Los Angeles isn't about proving doubters wrong. It's about proving believers right, every night on national TV. His story in Milwaukee is one of ascension, growth built on loyalty, patience, and community. He is not just a player there, he is a symbol. To leave now would mean unraveling a narrative carefully stitched over a decade. Still, the temptation is real, a chance to cement a legacy on the most visible stage the sport offers. Shaq's voice returns again. If I were him, I'd stay. Build it yourself. Call the right guys to join you. The underlying message, greatness doesn't need to migrate. It can manifest where you stand if your foundation is strong enough. The modern NBA, with its social media power and global reach, no longer demands players move to big cities for fame. Giannis's name is already global. He doesn't need LA to be recognized, he just needs wins. Still, the dream lingers. Outside noise grows and fans grow restless. Some fearing he'll leave Milwaukee, others hoping he rescues Los Angeles. Media panels dissect every quote. Headlines inflate every casual comment into coded intent. Giannis smiles, speaks humbly, and says little. He's been through this before. The storm is familiar. But in his quiet moments, One imagines him reflecting not only on what he could gain, but what he might lose. Legacy is not only about what you win, it's also about where you win it. Milwaukee gave him his platform. The Lakers could offer him a pedestal. But both come at a price. As the off-season inches closer, the echoes of greatness grow louder. And if Giannis dares step onto the Lakers stage, he must be ready, not just for the glory but for the ghosts. Every great player eventually faces a defining question. Do you follow the path of comfort and continuity, or do you chase something larger, something heavier? For Giannis Antetokounmpo, this moment is approaching like a slow tide. The decision to potentially leave Milwaukee isn't just about basketball. It's about identity, purpose, and legacy. To many, joining the Lakers is the ultimate crown jewel. It's the franchise where legends aren't just remembered, they're immortalized. Magic Johnson isn't just a name, he's a myth. Kobe Bryant isn't just a number, he's a doctrine. LeBron James added his chapter to this sacred text when he arrived and delivered a championship during a year defined by loss and resilience. Now, with LeBron nearing the end of his journey, the question lingers: who will carry the crown next? For Lakers fans, the answer they dream of is Giannis. He embodies so many of the traits that define greatness: discipline, humility, ferocity, and commitment. More importantly, he brings a work ethic that feels reminiscent of Kobe's infamous Mamba mentality. He's the kind of player who trains in silence and lets his game make the noise. In Los Angeles, that noise would be deafening. And yet, that very crown comes with weight. Shaquille O'Neal understands this better than most. When he delivered his warning about taxes, stress, and scrutiny, it wasn't just financial advice. It was a reminder that playing in LA isn't for the faint of heart. Every missed shot becomes a trend. Every bad night becomes a segment on national television. And every playoff loss becomes a talking point for a generation. In Milwaukee, Giannis is shielded by familiarity. He is protected by a city that views him not just as an athlete, but as one of their own. The margin for error is wider. The criticism is softer. The relationships run deeper. He has built something there, brick by brick, with sweat, patience, and persistence. Leaving would mean trading that comfort for the chaos of expectations. But greatness rarely resides in comfort. To lead the Lakers would be to take on a role bigger than basketball. Giannis would become the central figure of a global spectacle. He would not just be a player, he would be a brand, a representative of a dynasty, a headline every day. The jersey doesn't simply carry a number, it carries a legacy. Shaq knows the duality of this role. He won championships in Los Angeles, but also left under a storm cloud. He enjoyed the spotlight but endured the media's wrath. His advice comes from scars earned under the banners of Staples Center. His message to Giannis: don't confuse stardom with fulfillment. He doesn't need LA, Shaq says, because the world already knows who Giannis is. Still, what the world knows and what Giannis wants may be two different things. Deep inside, there may be a desire for reinvention, not because Milwaukee has failed him, but because a new challenge represents a new horizon. Players like Giannis don't settle. They evolve. They test their limits. And there's no greater test than succeeding under the intense pressure of Los Angeles, with its spotlight, its ghosts, and its insatiable hunger. Meanwhile, the league watches. Other teams quietly prepare scenarios, knowing that if Giannis were to become available, even informally, every front office would scramble. Some have the assets. Others have the cap space. A few, like the Lakers, have the allure. But none offer all three perfectly. And so the chessboard remains complex. In the Lakers' front office, there's both hope and anxiety. Hope that Giannis sees the franchise as a place where he could write a second act. Anxiety that without a trade, without young stars, their pitch is little more than a dream. They rely on reputation, on mystique, on the appeal of playing where Titans once stood. Giannis, to his credit, keeps his cards close. He trains. He spends time with family. He gives interviews filled with diplomacy. But one can sense the quiet storm of contemplation. To wear the Lakers jersey would mean rewriting his story. It would mean embracing expectations that few can carry. It would mean putting the crown on his own head, and accepting the pressure that comes with it. Some chase greatness. Others carry it. In Milwaukee, Giannis has carried a franchise. In LA, he would carry a legacy. And that, perhaps, is the difference between being remembered and being revered. There comes a point in every superstar's journey when loyalty and ambition begin to intersect, and sometimes collide. For Giannis Antetokounmpo, the pull of loyalty to the Milwaukee Bucks has defined much of his NBA career. He's resisted the super team wave, doubled down on internal growth, and time and again stated his desire to win the hard way. That dedication has won him admiration across the basketball world. But now, as whispers grow louder about a potential move to Los Angeles, the tension between loyalty and legacy becomes impossible to ignore. Milwaukee is more than just a franchise for Giannis. It's family. It's where he became a man, a champion, and a global icon. The Bucks front office, coaches, and fans poured their faith into him when he was a wiry, unpolished teenager from Greece. Over the years, he rewarded that belief with relentless work ethic, deep humility, and unshakable commitment. His 2021 championship brought tears not just to Giannis but to an entire region that had waited 50 years for that moment. Still, time doesn't stand still in the NBA. And legacy, though rooted in loyalty, often expands through evolution. Shaquille O'Neal's warning about the Lakers isn't just about pressure. It's about knowing whether you're ready to transition from local icon to global titan. Milwaukee has given Giannis everything it can. The front office has maneuvered cap space, chased key signings like Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton, and crafted a team built around his strengths. But even with all those efforts, the Bucks now face a familiar challenge: age and stagnation. Their core, while proven, is aging. Injuries have started creeping in. Other contenders, with younger rosters and more trade flexibility, are rapidly rising. And Giannis, now in his late 20s, knows he is in his championship prime. That ticking clock whispers a simple truth: opportunities must be seized before they vanish. The Lakers offer a tantalizing proposition. Yes, the roster is flawed. Yes, they lack draft assets. But they still hold the currency of legacy, and the vision of pairing Giannis with a generational talent like LeBron James. For a player thinking about the full arc of his career, not just the next season but the narrative that will be told in documentaries and Hall of Fame speeches, it's not a frivolous thought. In today's NBA, loyalty is noble, but mobility is normalized. LeBron, after all, built dynasties in 3 different cities. Kevin Durant redefined his reputation multiple times by chasing rings with different franchises. Even players like Kawhi Leonard, who won Finals MVP with 2 teams, showcased the modern player's ability to adapt and evolve without being labeled disloyal. But Giannis is not like most players. He still speaks with the raw emotion of someone who hasn't forgotten where he started. To leave Milwaukee would be to leave behind not just a city but a culture he helped build. He would no longer be the underdog success story, he'd be the superstar who left for brighter lights. That's a weight he doesn't take lightly. Even so, there's a growing sense that he's starting to look beyond what Milwaukee can offer. Not because of greed. Not because of frustration. But because his competitive fire burns hotter than ever, and he knows greatness often demands bold moves. He could, as Shaq suggests, try to recruit others to join him in Wisconsin. But that approach has limits, both financially and in appeal. Not every star wants to play in a smaller market, even with Giannis at the center. The Lakers, on the other hand, offer automatic visibility, a heritage of excellence, and endless endorsement opportunities. In a world where athletes are both players and entrepreneurs, that visibility matters. Yet, visibility is not value. The question is not whether Giannis can join the Lakers. It's whether he should. Does he need their stage to validate his career? Or does he believe in continuing to build his own empire, without stepping into the footprints of others? Legacy is never a straight path. It is shaped by choices that don't always have obvious answers. Michael Jordan stayed. LeBron left. Kobe remained. Durant traveled. All are legends. But how they got there changed how they are remembered. Giannis stands now at a crossroads few ever reach. Loyalty tells him to keep building where he started. Legacy suggests the next chapter might lie elsewhere. And as the world speculates, only he knows which direction feels right. In the ever-evolving landscape of the NBA, the court is only part of the game. Off the hardwood, stories are written, reputations are molded, and legacies are constructed with precision and passion. The Los Angeles Lakers have long mastered this art. For generations, they've been more than a basketball team, they've been a narrative machine, capable of elevating stars into cultural icons. For Giannis Antetokounmpo, joining such a machine could fundamentally shift the story of his career. The Lakers represent a powerful narrative: redemption, dominance, Hollywood-style drama, and most importantly, history. From Showtime to the Shaq-Kobe dynasty, and later to LeBron's bubble triumph, each era was defined by moments that transcended the box score. These weren't just wins, they were cinematic arcs. Heroes, villains, fallouts, resurrections. It's basketball with a script, and every superstar who joins gets a starring role. That's the stage being quietly offered to Giannis. In Milwaukee, his story has been one of pure grind and humble ascension. A teenage immigrant drafted outside the lottery, who slowly transformed into the league's most dominant force through sheer willpower and loyalty. It's a powerful story, one that earned him love, respect, and a ring. But in LA, his narrative could evolve from inspirational to mythic. The allure is understandable. Being a Laker means more than competing, it means shaping culture. It means walking the same halls as legends and adding your name to the rafters beside theirs. It means your career is forever remembered in gold and purple, regardless of when you came or how long you stayed. Even one championship as a Laker weighs heavier in public memory than many earned elsewhere. And for Giannis, whose game is built on dominance, spectacle, and passion, the Lakers could serve as the ultimate amplifier. He doesn't have to seek attention, his play demands it. But Los Angeles would ensure that attention is constant, worldwide, and enduring. Still, there's a trade-off. Shaquille O'Neal, who lived both the glory and grind of Laker life, continues to warn against mistaking spotlight for serenity. His caution about more pressure, more stress, reflects the darker side of the LA dream. In Milwaukee, Giannis is adored even in defeat. In Los Angeles, one bad playoff series could begin a media storm. Every action becomes content. Every statement becomes a soundbite. The narrative machine that elevates can also devour. Giannis, so far in his career, has maintained a rare grace under pressure. He's transparent in interviews, thoughtful in his comments, and rarely gives into drama. But even he has shown signs of wear from high expectations. After last season's playoff disappointment, his post-game comments about failure being part of growth sparked debate across platforms. Imagine that level of dissection tenfold under Laker lights. Yet there's a powerful counterpoint. Great players don't avoid pressure, they rise to meet it. And maybe Giannis is ready for that next test. Maybe he looks at the aging Bucks roster and wonders if he's plateaued in Milwaukee. Maybe he sees the final years of LeBron James and recognizes a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to play alongside one of the all-time greats and potentially inherit the throne afterward. This wouldn't just be a move. It would be a moment, a seismic shift in the NBA power structure. And it would change the narrative not just for Giannis but for the Lakers, the Bucks, and the league itself. Of course, no deal is easy. The Lakers are asset-starved. Milwaukee holds all the leverage contractually. Any trade would require immense sacrifice and perfect timing. But in this league, whispers have power. When stars begin to think about legacy, movement often follows. Giannis joining the Lakers wouldn't be just a transfer of talent. It would be the beginning of a new narrative, forged in the fires of both aspiration and expectation. He would no longer be just the king of Milwaukee, he'd become a global monarch under the harshest spotlight. And the world, as always, would be watching. The path to greatness is rarely a safe one. For Giannis Antetokounmpo, the decision to remain in Milwaukee or chase a new chapter, potentially in Los Angeles, is not merely a matter of geography, but a profound gamble with both risks and rewards. The reward? Legacy amplified. Influence expanded. A career cemented in the annals of the most storied franchise in NBA history. The risk? Alienation. Pressure. Disruption of a legacy already deeply respected for its loyalty and integrity. To move to the Lakers would be to abandon the comfort of consistency in favor of the chaos of championship expectations. Giannis would no longer be the underdog who brought Milwaukee to glory. He'd become the high-value piece brought in to save the Lakers, a team constantly chasing the shadows of its own past. This isn't just a move, it's a leap. And Giannis, despite his size and dominance, is human. There's the emotional cost of leaving Milwaukee, a city that embraced him when he was raw, unrefined, and unknown. It's where he built not just a career but a life, developing close bonds with teammates, forming a deep connection with fans, and even expressing love for the local community in countless interviews and outreach efforts. To leave would be to break a bond few athletes ever experience with a city. But staying also carries a cost. The Bucks are not guaranteed contenders. Injuries, aging contracts, and limited trade flexibility may have already capped their potential. Giannis knows what it takes to win a title, and if he no longer sees a clear path to repeating that glory in Milwaukee, then remaining out of loyalty may lead to regret. As an elite athlete in his prime, every season counts. The window for dominance is unforgiving. That's where the Lakers come in. They may not have the most enticing trade assets, but they do have a vision. Pair Giannis with LeBron and possibly Luka, if rumors materialize, and you create a super team that could challenge the balance of the league. Even beyond the basketball element, LA offers exposure, marketability, and influence that no other franchise can match. Nike ads, movie roles, global ambassadorships. Giannis, already a household name, could become a cultural icon. But is that what he wants? Shaquille O'Neal, who once made a similar jump from Orlando to LA, believes the sacrifices are steep. He speaks not from speculation but experience. Shaq won titles in Los Angeles, but he also clashed with the media, teammates, and ownership. The pressure to perform is relentless. The expectations sky high. Even success isn't always enough. LA wants more than victories, it wants dominance with flair. And Giannis, while charismatic and likable, isn't flashy. He's grounded. He trains with purpose, avoids unnecessary drama, and is devoted to team-first basketball. Would that persona flourish in the glare of Hollywood? Or would it be misunderstood? There's also the locker room dynamic. Sharing the floor with LeBron James brings perks, but also complications. LeBron is a gravitational force in any organization. His voice carries, his presence shapes strategy. Giannis, used to being the unquestioned leader in Milwaukee, would have to adjust. Would he thrive beside another alpha, or would their visions clash? Then there's the potential aftermath. If Giannis moves to LA and fails to win a title, or worse if chemistry issues emerge, the criticism would be merciless. The media, the fans, the basketball world would question the decision endlessly. His legacy, once praised for loyalty and honor, might be recast as opportunistic or miscalculated. But if he succeeds? If Giannis delivers a title to the Lakers in the twilight of LeBron's career, his name would be immortalized alongside Magic, Kareem, Shaq, and Kobe. He wouldn't just be respected, he'd be worshipped. Every great player faces a gamble. Michael Jordan retired at his peak and returned with something to prove. LeBron left Cleveland, twice, because he knew staying meant comfort, but leaving offered legend. Kevin Durant risked his public image to chase rings in Golden State. Kawhi Leonard bet on a one-year window in Toronto and came away a champion. Giannis now stands at the edge of that same cliff. To jump or not? That is the decision that looms. What makes this moment fascinating is that there is no wrong answer. Both paths carry meaning, value, and legitimacy. But only one will lead to the version of Giannis that will be remembered for generations. The world doesn't just watch greatness, it watches how greatness is chosen. Every generation of basketball has its defining crossroads, the moment when a player must choose between the comfort of where they've been and the uncertainty of where they could go. For Giannis Antetokounmpo, that moment is drawing closer, and how he responds will define not just the rest of his career, but how his name is spoken in the history of the sport. The debate has now become bigger than basketball. It's not just about points per game or how many rebounds he averages. It's about legacy. It's about narrative. It's about identity. If Giannis stays in Milwaukee, he doubles down on being the face of a franchise that he helped rebuild from obscurity. He continues the journey he started, loyal, relentless, and authentic. He might not win another title, but he'll never be questioned for chasing an easier path. In the eyes of many fans and purists, that loyalty alone will make him legendary. But the NBA is not a league of stillness. It rewards boldness. It celebrates risk-takers. And in that spirit, a move to the Lakers or any big-market contender would represent Giannis taking full control of his story. In Los Angeles, the stakes would be sky-high. The media coverage would be non-stop. Every game would carry more weight. Every playoff appearance would be dissected, debated, and judged with the harshest lens. But should he succeed, the reward would be monumental. Bringing a championship to the Lakers isn't just about adding another ring. It's about entering a rare echelon. It's about becoming part of the franchise's sacred timeline alongside names like Kareem, Magic, Kobe, and LeBron. Giannis, the humble Greek immigrant who made Milwaukee his home, would ascend to a new level. No longer just admired, but immortalized. Still, the question remains, what does Giannis truly want? He has never sought the spotlight. His goals have always seemed grounded in team success, hard work, and personal growth. He doesn't tweet cryptic messages or demand roster changes. He trusts the process. He believes in earning everything. That's what made his 2021 championship so impactful, because it was built, not bought. And that might be why leaving is so hard. A move to LA risks disrupting that image, whether fairly or not. Some fans will view it as a betrayal. Others will see it as the next step in a champion's evolution. In the end, perception will be split, but impact will be undeniable. Shaquille O'Neal's cautionary words carry weight for a reason. He lived both sides of the dream. He knows what it's like to chase more and find both glory and chaos. And he wants Giannis to understand, greatness comes with a cost. In LA the highs are higher, but so are the demands, the criticisms, the expectations. So what will Giannis do? Maybe he'll stay and continue his quest in Milwaukee, writing a quieter, more principled legacy. Or maybe he'll leap, fully aware of the risks, and embrace the challenge of becoming the next Laker legend. Whatever his choice, it will be his. And that, perhaps, is the most powerful part of all. Because in a league shaped by movement, media, and momentum, Giannis remains grounded. He doesn't chase headlines, he creates moments. He doesn't seek validation, he builds respect. And whether he wears green or gold, his journey will continue to inspire. Legacy is not built overnight. It's not defined by one decision. But some choices echo louder than others. And Giannis Antetokounmpo's next move may just echo forever. As the NBA spins forward, propelled by trades, rivalries, and transcendent talent, some moments pause the world of basketball and demand deeper reflection. Giannis Antetokounmpo's decision, whether to stay in Milwaukee or seek new ground, has become such a moment. It is not just the next headline in a long off-season. It's a reflection of the sport's evolving soul. Basketball, especially at the professional level, has always been a dance between two forces, the game itself and the mythology built around it. What makes Giannis unique is that he straddles both worlds, equally dominant on the court, yet refreshingly grounded off it. He's the kind of player fans can believe in, not just for his skill but for his story. This is why his potential move carries more emotional weight than most. It isn't just about joining LeBron or chasing another championship. It's about transformation. From underdog to champion. From hometown hero to global titan. From consistency to complexity. Giannis has said repeatedly that he wants to be challenged, to grow, to never feel complacent. This mindset, more than any rumor or report, may offer the clearest glimpse into his future. Greatness, he understands, isn't static. It's forged in new arenas, new environments, and new forms of adversity. Should he remain in Milwaukee, he becomes a symbol of loyalty and the enduring power of building from within. He will write a quieter but no less noble story, defined by trust and resilience. And when it's all said and done, his jersey will rise into the rafters, his name will be cherished, and no one will ever forget the man who chose to stay. But if he leaves, especially for a place as storied as Los Angeles, his legend takes a different shape. More controversial perhaps. More dramatic. But potentially more expansive. A successful stint in LA wouldn't just rewrite the Lakers' future. It would reshape Giannis' place in the global conversation. He wouldn't just be a champion, he'd be a myth-maker. No decision is without consequence. No path without trade-offs. Shaquille O'Neal, as one of the few men to live both these realities, offers a voice of experience, not judgment. His warnings are not meant to dissuade Giannis from chasing greatness, but to ensure he understands the terrain. LA is not just lights and banners. It's pressure, scrutiny, and a stage where even perfection is never quite enough. And yet, for some, that's exactly the appeal. In the end, Giannis stands at the same fork many legends have faced. Loyalty or legacy expansion. Comfort or chaos. Stay and defend what he's built, or leap into the storm and attempt to shape something greater. There is no easy answer. But there is one truth. Whatever Giannis chooses, he will carry the game forward, not just through his power or skill, but through the integrity with which he walks each path. He is not merely a product of the NBA, he is one of its rare architects, one of its stewards, one of its hearts. And when the dust settles, whether in the Midwest or beneath California's sun, his story will remain a beacon for future generations. A reminder that basketball greatness isn't only measured in trophies and titles, but in the courage to decide who you truly want to become. The echoes of that choice will last forever.